Welcome back. In this episode, I will be covering a crucial aspect of this journey of overcoming self-silencing. So far, we've touched on what it means to be an impact maker, being authentic, as well as what self-silencing is. Now, let's explore why being aware of self-silencing is so important and how it affects us more deeply than we might realize. Self-silencing can be something that is part of our lives even without us really realizing. It limits our potential to connect genuinely, to make meaningful impact, and to grow as individuals. As we progress through this mini-series, I'll dig deeper into the reasons why we self-silence, but ultimately it comes down to fear. So let's talk about fear. It's often the voice in the back of our heads telling us to stay quiet and not rock the boat. And while this fear can sometimes serve as a protective mechanism, alerting us to real dangers, it's often overstepping its bounds. It holds us back from expressing ourselves, from taking risks that could lead to growth. It's important to recognize the difference between fear acting as a guardian and when it's actually becoming the gatekeeper of our self-expression. Fear is natural. It isn't always the enemy, and in many ways it's an innate response, a built-in mechanism that is designed to protect us. It alerts us to danger and helps us to navigate risky situations. But when we talk about overcoming fear in the context of self-silencing, it's not about dismissing it outright, but rather understanding and rationalizing it. The key is to recognize when fear is serving a purpose and when it's merely holding us back from expressing our true selves. It's finding that balance, listening to our fear, understanding its roots, and then making a rational decision about whether it's a genuine warning or an irrational barrier. For instance, if you're hesitating to speak up in a situation because you fear physical harm, that's fear serving its protective purpose. But if you're holding back your ideas because you're afraid of judgment or rejection, that might be a moment where fear is not serving you well. We need to learn to differentiate between these scenarios and not letting this fear lead us when it's going to really hold us back in some way. This involves a level of self-awareness and self-reflection where we question our fears and we weigh up their validity and decide whether they deserve to guide our decisions. It's about taking back control from our fears, heeding the warning light in the lighthouse, but not letting it steer the ship. So remember, while it's essential to challenge and overcome unnecessary fears, it's equally important to respect fear when it's genuinely looking out for us. It's this balanced approach that helps us navigate our path with courage and with wisdom. This is why awareness is key. By recognizing our tendencies to self-silence, we can start to understand the why behind it. Are we afraid of judgment, of not being accepted, or is it something else? This awareness is the first step to challenging those fears and breaking the cycle of self-silencing. It involves introspection, honesty with ourselves, and sometimes a bit of courage to face what we find. I also want to touch on the internal impact of self-silencing and how it affects us more deeply than we realize. When we silence our true selves because of these fears, we create this barrier not just between us and other people, but within ourselves. It's like every time you choose not to express your true self, a brick is added to this internal wall. And over time, the wall becomes so thick that we can't even break through it. we start to feel disconnected, not just from the people around us, but from ourselves. And this can have a deeper impact than we might realize. It can affect how we view ourselves, our self-esteem, and even our mental and emotional well-being. It's like we're constantly telling ourselves that our true thoughts and feelings aren't valid or important enough to be shared. And that kind of message, repeated over and over again internally, can really take its toll. This is why understanding and working to overcome self-silencing is important. It's not just about being able to speak up and share our ideas with others. It's about breaking down that internal wall so that we can feel whole and feel connected to ourselves and authentic inside and out. In the next few episodes, I will dig deeper into the reasons why you might be self-silencing, to help you gain a clear understanding as to why you are specifically holding back. But I encourage you to reflect on your own experiences with self-silencing as you go forward, so that you can develop an awareness around this. And to help you identify why, you can check out the What's Holding You Back Self-Silencing quiz. And you'll find the link to that on fifimason.com/EP3. And for more insights, don't forget to check out my mini book, Stop Self-Silencing, on Amazon. And it's free if you are a Kindle Unlimited member. So you've got no excuses. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Again, it's another short one because next we're going to be getting into those 5 core reasons and really digging a lot deeper into each one. If you found value in this episode and are seeking more personalized support on your journey to visibility, I'd like to extend a special invitation to you. Join me in the Visibility Lab. This unique space is designed for individuals like you who are ready to amplify their voice, embrace their authentic selves, and make a genuine impact. You'll find an empowering community of like-minded individuals, all working towards greater visibility. So if you're ready to step out of the shadows and into your light, to stop self-silencing and make the impact that you've always dreamed of, then join us in the Visibility Lab. Visit fifimason.com/TVL to find out more.